Shopping at that Beverly Center, then we could be sinners after dinner in that bedroom, eating fresh foods, watching you strip for me. Bounce, bounce, get it, come and get this dick from me. Yeah, the vibe is chill, can you help me release my chakras? I'm just a salad if you ain't know that. A young nigga making art, living lavish, making art, my. You done fell in love with sunny Southern California. Let my lips touch you and my hands run up on you. I knew you was mine when I saw you at that corner. I knew you was mine. Cheers.
All right, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Let Me Speak podcast. I'm your host, Deasia, and we're in episode 15 of the Let Me Speak podcast. And today I have with me Justice Allah. What's going on?
What's up, y'all? What's good?
Man, thank you so much for coming out. I appreciate you so much. Let's go ahead and tell the listeners about you. Where you from?
Oh, okay. Yeah, my name is Justice Allah. For those who don't know, I was born and raised in Watts, California, East Side. Went to Locke High School. Been doing music since like 5th grade, and I'm still doing music to this day.
That's what's up. That's what's up. What was the name of that song we just heard?
Oh, the name of that song was Calling.
What's that about?
It was about a girl. It was about a girl, basically. Shout out Iman Omari. He was the one that produced that track, Calling. I recorded it. It was on my project Leftovers back in the day. That song was about basically showing the pros and cons about bad dudes and how a girl will sometimes make the mistake off of just loving a person that's bad for them so much. And I was just giving the viewer 2 examples of what type of dudes you could be. That's why I said it's 2 type of dudes. Be careful how you pick them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes, ladies. All right. So let's just get into it. Now, like I was telling you, basis of this podcast, is just allowing black rappers to get their voices out on things that I feel that are important and affect us within the black community.
Yeah.
So, as we both know, there's a whole bunch of shit going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
So let's just start off with the obvious. I want to ask you, how do you feel about what happened to George Floyd? How does that make you feel as a black man?
I mean, along with the coronavirus, this is like a worse pandemic than like just what we ever had to experience. You feel me? And this is crazy because none of this stuff that's happening. None of this stuff is new. We've been going through this for like 400 years and farther back than that. Yeah. I don't know what it is that some people just hate about us. It might be our style, or the way we dress, our energy.
We got it all.
We got it all for real. But I just feel like it was a sad thing just to see that happen to another black brother for real. I'm still going off of what they saying in the media and everything about the case. I really hope George and the family of George gets justice, because nobody deserves for their family member to die like that.
Not at all. It's been old, you know, just seeing us constantly getting, exterminated by the police.
Yeah.
How you though, growing up in LA, you said you're from Watts, right?
Yeah, born and raised.
Being a black man living in Watts, how was that for you? Did you personally experience anything with the police brutality or them not treating you fair?
I didn't really have to go through anything with the police when I was a kid. My mom, I was raised. My mom, both of my parents, they kept me in the house all the time. But as an adult and as a man, I recently, actually, before all this George Floyd stuff happened, I had a run-in with the police, and I was on a date with this girl I was talking to. I don't talk to her no more, but I was on a date with her, and we went to she stayed in like Calabasas, so we was just at her crib chilling, and we did like a late night food run. We go to the View, kicking it in the car. Haven't left the car. We get there, and it's like a whole bunch of other like white people outside of their cars, smoking, drinking. We just in our car, sitting back, watching the View. We noticed some lights come, so I guess it's time to go because we had just got there. So I pull up to the front, try to get in the front passenger seat. Officer puts his hand on my door, closes it before he talks to anybody else, and says for me to put my hands behind my back. And
wow.
It was just traumatic. You feel me? That was the first time I ever had been put in like the back of a police car. I was threatened with jail.
What for? What was his?
He said that he told me immediately that I was going to jail, and just some other weird stuff. And I had told him I had for just being out. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Is this a misdemeanor?
But you were the only one in handcuffs.
Exactly. Only one in handcuffs. I asked him, I was like, is this a misdemeanor or a felony? Because by law, being out past, like I guess like what he would have to say was trespassing, being that it was past the time of the the curfew at the park.
Yeah.
You either, like by law, it's either you get, if it's a misdemeanor, you either get a ticket or you get a warning. And I had asked him just to give me my citation. But he had other plans. He wanted to make a show for the for his buddy.
So did he end up letting you go?
He ended up letting me go. But still, I just felt like I was powerless because the girl I was with, you feel me, that was like around our first date. And he tried to strip my my power away.
Yeah,
but I still
they tried to just embarrass you and just
embarrass me. Yeah,
and like you said, you felt like you had no power. Your power had been stripped away, and that's imagine how I can't even imagine how George Floyd must have felt. He had his hands behind his back, he's handcuffed, and they're on his neck. Like it's sickening. But do you think that would have happened to you if you were a white male?
Oh, I wouldn't even.
Without a doubt, I probably would have.
Yeah, without a doubt,
I
wouldn't even let that. Yeah, that definitely would have happened if I would have made the slightest mistake. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it happen without even a mistake. You feel me? Some people just it's different. Like like most of my friends and most of my like people I know are compassionate. Some people just don't have compassion like we do in our hearts.
Yeah. During that moment when you were arrested, did you feel at any time, were you afraid for your life? Now you said this was prior to George Floyd, right? Before? It
was like 2 days before.
Okay. So even then though, like even before George Floyd, it's been numerous stories about the police killing a black man. So at that time, how did you feel? Were you fearful that you were going to die, or like that you could have been shot or hurt, or, how did you feel?
I was, I felt embarrassed. Mm-hmm. I felt, like I was always taught not to fear no man. You feel me? So I definitely wasn't afraid. So if he felt like he was trying to instill fear, then he was completely wrong. Mm-hmm. I was most of all embarrassed because I felt like I had my power was stripped away because I was in front of a girl I was with too, and I couldn't really control the outcome of the situation. I was in the back with my hands just behind my back, uncomfortable in that small space, and she was recording, and the dude he told the girl who was like 5'6" at the time, and just real skinny, and just the most sensitive girl in the world, that he told her that he felt threatened and that she should scoot back. So
he told her he felt threatened by her.
She does YouTube. You feel me, bro? How do you feel?
He felt threatened by her.
A YouTuber,
an officer, who's armed.
Exactly.
Probably how many times bigger than her?
Bigger than me. Bigger than me. He was fat too.
Oh gosh. Why am I not surprised though that he said that? Anyway, so do you feel though that the police are targeting black men though?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. You feel me? The first policemen in the world were right after slavery was their job was to catch black people and put them in chains and abuse them and do anything they wanted to them, do whatever they felt like. You feel me? And this is what's transformed into police brutality that we call today, just based off of slavery. Policing came from slavery. Yeah. You feel me? I respect what artists like Meek and Jay-Z and all the artists are doing with the prison reform.
Yeah.
I just I wish things would go in our favor more rapid.
Yeah. In regards to prison reform, I always say the judicial system is just not designed for us.
Oh yeah, it's not
at all.
Nah.
Especially the black man. I feel like
my mom. Oh,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh my bad. Yeah, my mom would always tell me, like growing up, like ever since I was like 7, she would be like, every time I made a mistake or I stole something from the store. You feel me? Because we like. She would always tell me they building a bed for you. You feel me? They building a bed for you. They already it's statistics that say they like. You feel me? Just on how owners of these prisons come and just make a prison. They building beds for people like us. And all I'm trying to do is just stay on my toes and just make the right move. You feel me?
How do you feel though being just being a black man in today's society? How does that make you feel?
Oh, I feel great. You know?
As you should.
Yeah.
As you should.
It's a great time to be. What a time to be alive.
Right.
You feel me? It's a great time to be a black
king.
a black king. You feel me? A black king.
Yeah.
You feel me? We just you feel me? We like it's crazy because we've been an underdog so long. It's gonna be our time one of these days. Watch, it's definitely gonna be our time again.
For sure. Do you feel though when you walk out of the house that you have to carry yourself a certain way? Because do you feel like you have to carry yourself a certain way to prevent from being, just stereotype, to prevent from being, just harassed by the cops? Like, do you get what I mean? Like, do you feel like you have to change how you want to make dress or something? Like,
I feel like, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I still like even with all the stuff that goes on in LA with just like gang politics or with the police, I'm gonna wear whatever I want to wear. You feel me? If it look nice, I'm gonna wear it. But going back to what you said, all like seriousness. When I'm in a car with my homies, it's been times where they'll be like, take that hat off or take the hood off. You feel me? When we going through a neighborhood, and I'll be like, why do I have to take this off? I'll be thinking like, dang, like if I was white or another race, would I have to take this off? Like why do I have to take this off? And I just take it off just because he driving or something like that, and that's the homie, and I wouldn't
just
want him
to respect the
over.
homie.
Yeah,
I feel you. What are your thoughts though on the police? How do you? Because I've spoken to people, and many of them being black, they have their. Not all police are bad, and then there's some who are. It's completely fuck the police.
Oh yeah.
So what's your opinion on the police?
Well, in the wise words of my bro Rigel Crooks, aka Inglewood Ali,
what do you
it's
say?
fuck the police all day, all day.
Okay.
But I'm not even gonna lie. But seriously, it's some good. I'm not gonna lie. It's always like a conflict because, it could be some good police out there, but just I watched a Muhammad Ali interview and he said, imagine going back to his theory on snakes when he said, imagine 900 snakes in a barrel. Out of them 900 snakes, 800 mean bad. They just want to kill you, just shoot you all the time. And the other 100, they want to be your friend. What do? Do you kill all the snakes, or do you kill that just 800 snakes, or do you let them all live? You feel me?
It's gonna be hard.
It's like a theory. It's a theory because at the end of the day, they are snakes. But it's gonna be 100%, like 100. That's like good. But to be safe, what do? Do you get rid of all the snakes, or do you keep the 100 that promise that they'll be good, but you still never know?
Yeah. What do you think that we should be doing right now as a black community?
I think we should. I believe in protesting too, so I think we should keep the protesting going.
Yeah,
I
let's
like
talk
how
about
the world is unifying.
Protesting.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think we should keep protesting. I like how the world is unified with the protesting. You feel me? I always grew up. I grew up with like knowledge of self, so I was taught at a young age. I'm not Muslim, but I was taught some of the Muslim jewels by some of my Muslim homies and my pops. And I watched a couple Farrakhan interviews, and they teach to do for yourself. You feel me? I think black people, we need to do more for ourselves and stop waiting on people to do for us. You feel me? We've been expecting people to do for us after slavery, and it's not all our fault. You feel me? Because we have been put in positions and systematic, just crazy stuff that all that stuff that it's not all our fault. You feel me? It's some of them, most of them to blame, but you feel me? We need to keep investing in black banks,
black owned businesses.
Just keep doing what we're doing and just stay focused,
And now, how do you feel about the looting that's going on? I personally am against it. I'm not for it because it takes away what we're really out there for.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with, especially with breaking into black-owned businesses. But I will say, let's say, I think they broke into some stores on Rodeo Drive, correct?
Rodeo, oh yeah, they told Rodeo Drive. Whatever it is, Rodeo Drive, they told that. But
I'm not really tripping about Rodeo Drive. You feel me? because I mean it wasn't a black-owned business. That's that. I mean, I get why people are upset about it, but like I said, in regards to them tearing up Rodeo Drive,